What's going on? Welcome to Tech with Sean, and this is my gaming PC. Today I'm going to do some upgrades to it, and we're not changing out the CPU, we're not changing the graphics card, we're going to give it a new home in a different case. I've had this for several years. When I first had it, I had an i7 7700K and a 1070, and so a 9900K and 3080 is a far cry in heat production and power from a system like that. As you can see, the graphics card just about touches the front of the case, and there's just not enough airflow in there for it. I typically run this undervolted, and even then it runs in the mid-70s, and if I just let it run wild and don't undervolt it, it climbs up to 80 really fast and starts thermal throttling on the GPU. So I'm going to upgrade the case, and we're going to do the Corsair 4000D Airflow Edition, because what do I need? Airflow. So I figured might as well get an airflow designed case. For looks, I'm also going to install the QL120 fans because they were on sale and they have some really cool looking lighting, so why not? Also have a couple of extra things I'm going to throw on there, like some sleeved cable extensions and a RGB GPU support bracket. And while I'm at it, since the new case is white, I'm going to swap my RAM kit with the white RAM kit that's in my wife's computer. It's a couple hundred megahertz slower, but I figure I might as well have my white RAM kit in my white computer, and I'll go into the BIOS and see if I can't bump it up a little bit with a memory overclock. Let's go ahead and turn this thing off, take it apart, and install all the parts in the new case. Alright, I think I've recovered just about all the parts we're going to recycle. We got the motherboard, CPU, there's a couple of NVMe drives in there. We've got two 2TB SATA drives for game storage. There's the 3080. We got the power supply, the cables for the power supply, the cooler, which is a 240mm AIO, and then the Corsair Commander Pro, which will hook all the new QL120 fans into. So I don't know what there's left to do besides start building in the new 4000D. Alright, we are back. It's the next day, and boy did I cause myself a lot of problems last night troubleshooting this thing. I'm not sure how the build footage is going to go, if it's just going to trail off or how I did that, but I spent so long messing with these fans and RGB last night, and it was 100% all my own fault. So here's what happened. In my old case, the fans, all 6 of them were hooked up to this lighting node thing. And then it has this Corsair plug, and that went to the Commander Pro. And you know, I was moving the parts over and I figured, why mess with success? I'm just going to plug all the fans into here, plug that into the Commander Pro as channel 1, and I'll be good to go. This is the one that came with the new fans, and instead of going to the Corsair plug, it goes to a USB thing that you plug into the USB plug on the Commander Pro, instead of the lighting channel 1 thing. Yeah, you can tell now what I did and what I should have done. So yeah, I hooked this up. When I turned it on, the first 3 fans worked, and then the other fans worked, but they had no light. And so I started Googling it, and I saw a bunch of stuff about, oh, the fans are in series, so if something's wrong with like one, then the ones after it won't light up. So I started taking out the fans and reinstalling them in different positions, and I did that for a long time and none of that helped. And then I was like, wait a minute, What if I unplug all of them from this, plug this in, the Commander Pro instead, and then try that? And I just did it with the wires hanging out of the side of the case, and as soon as I did it, they all fired up like it should right off the bat, and I felt immediately stupid. So if you buy some LL120s, make sure to use the lighting thing that comes in the box with them. Don't use the previous kind. That's my fault for being a dumbass. This other wire here, this is pretty interesting. So I bought an ARGB GPU support bracket, and it just has a regular, 3-pin or 4-pin RGB plug. And the rest of my stuff is all IQ lighting. And so what this is, it basically goes from the 3-pin RGB header to an IQ type thing that you can plug in to the Commander Pro as a lighting channel. And so I hooked this thing up, I plugged it into lighting channel 2, and according to the page on Amazon, you're supposed to say that this is 2 lighting strips inside IQ to get the correct amount of lighting or whatever. And so that's what I did, and I think it looks pretty sweet. Yeah, if you've never messed with one of these, it's pretty interesting. I didn't even know such a thing existed until I was looking around. It basically just converts it. So yeah, we got it put together. Now all that's left to do is, I guess, the dramatic peel. Alright, thank you for watching along. I'm pretty happy with how this all came together. We didn't change the temperatures by like a life-changing amount, but we did shave off a solid few degrees, and that's what I was really hoping for. I also really just like how it looks with the QL fans and everything. If you liked this video or at least thought it was entertaining, give me a like down below, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.